Hey, this is Jonathan Green of Streamlined Properties On-Market, brokered by eXp Realty. Today, I'm going to give you a little run through on understanding the real estate transaction process, something like that. But I'm going to show you a document that I have, which is actually made by a breakthrough broker. We're going to go through everything that you have on there and make sure that we have it correct. So I'm going to take you from beginning to end, all the stages. It's not necessarily just New Jersey. We're in 5 states, and most of this stuff will apply in all the states. It's just basically the way that a real estate transaction goes. So if you're ready, I'm going to just pull this up, the buyer roadmap. Here we go. Oh, here it is. So this is a home buying process in a nutshell. It's not everything. It's a fair overview, which is why I make these videos. This is really to help home buyers and home sellers understand all the kind of pinpoints of the process and what happens during a real estate transaction. So hopefully this will be helpful. It's going to give you a pretty good roadmap. And it's all laid out for you on this document. So after you watch this, if you want to get this document, you can send an email to info@streamlined.properties, and we'll send it right out to you. So your first stage is up in the top in the red. Meet with a real estate professional, discuss the type of home you're looking for, including style, price, and location. This really starts when you're online looking. You're probably on Zillow or Realtor.com or some other site. Hopefully you're on our site at streamlined.properties, but you're taking a peek, seeing what's out there, not sure if you're ready yet, but you're looking around. Everybody likes to look at homes. You've seen the SNL skit on that late night Zillow runs, which a lot of us have kind of done. You find an area that you like. And really choosing an agent is a very tough thing, I think, for a novice. And it is really even tougher for somebody who's been in it. A lot of different things to consider. I think the most important thing is always going to be trust. And trust is actually starts before you meet the agent. That's really the truth these days. There's so much information available online. Don't you think that you can get a little bit of trust going before by reading online reviews, making sure that everything is current? And does this company or agent or team look like the type that you would like to do business with? And I think that's what's really important. You really want to match your personality style to an agent who will complement that. It doesn't have to be the exact same personality, but it has to be a complement to your personality as a home buyer. And that's something that you want to look for. Personally, if I was brand new as a home buyer and looking, I would read a bunch of reviews on Zillow. I would see if the agent or team had done transactions in the towns that I was looking in. And I would really see what their past sales look like. Those are all uploaded onto Zillow, and what type of business they're doing. Again, do I want someone who's doing 1,000 transactions? I don't know. That doesn't seem like they're going to have the time for me that way. But a lot of teams who run that many transactions have great systems. We have a big team. We have great systems as well. But again, it's still going to be an agent to agent connect. The good thing with the team is if you don't get along perfectly with one agent, team can always just swap out that agent for somebody who's a better personality fit for you. And that comes to my discretion as when I think it's going to work. If a client reached out to me and said, I'm not really connecting with this agent, do you have someone who's more like this? I would match them with somebody else and make sure that the client is getting the best service that they need. Might not have been the agent's fault at all, just might not have been a perfect personality match. So it's going to start with you looking online for real estate agents and homes. We suggest that you drive the neighborhoods before, see what you like, go during a weeknight, go on the weekend to areas that you think you might like, do your back research, because we can't really give you a ton of information. It's not within our purview as a real estate agent to tell you what is, good or bad about a neighborhood. We're just there to give you information, show you homes, and give you super advice on prices, appreciation, things that we can try to figure out based on evidence. But a lot of buying a home is just personally what you're comfortable with. We do our best to make all the options available to you so you can make the best decisions that you can. So once you find somebody that you like online, I suggest you send them an email, send them a text, give them a phone call, and try to set up a time to do a one-on-one Zoom prior to meeting in person. It will save you a lot of time if you don't get along to then setting up a whole meeting, driving there. Zoom has made it so much easier. So I think it's a great idea to Zoom. I personally will Zoom with all my clients. I don't really like talking on the phone. I like Zoom. I can see somebody's face. I can get a vibe for whether we're going to get along. And I think as a home buyer, that's definitely what you're looking for as well. You just want someone who's going to compliment you and someone who you can trust and rely on to always be there when you need them, to give you the best information about what's going on in a transaction. And that's really what this video is here for. So you're going to meet with that real estate professional. Something to keep in mind, they said up top, the buyer's advantage. This is one thing that everybody gets wrong. A lot of new buyers, they're reading forums, looking at things online, and they say, oh, well, I'll just put in an offer with the listing agent because I think I have a higher likelihood of winning. And somehow you think you're going to save money. Good. You're not saving any money. All of the commission will go to the listing agent, and the listing agent always has a primary responsibility to the seller in that situation. It costs you nothing to have your own buyer's agent, so why wouldn't you do that? So there's a separation between your buyer's agent and the listing agent, and you can get the best service, unbiased professional advice. Once you're getting ready, even before you start to look at homes, you should hit that orange on the right, get pre-approved. You'll need pay stubs, W-2s, all your information. I'm going to warn you up front, it's a lot more than you expected, but it's your lead-in to getting the money that you want to get a mortgage if you're going to pay with a mortgage. If you have cash, then you're just getting together your proof of funds, organizing it into one account and into a presentation option to give to your agent. Most people are going to get a pre-approval. You're going to relay the information to the lender, talk about everything, and you really want to have all of that delivered. You want the real estate, the mortgage agent to have looked through your bank accounts, verified your funds, got everything, and that's a true pre-approval, better than a pre-qualification, even though they don't really use the words pre-approval as much anymore. But that's a very, very important step. Because how can you begin to look at homes if you don't know what your top is? So if your top is 500, it doesn't mean you have to spend 500, but you have to know that you can spend up to 500. And honestly, in this market and a lot of markets right now, if you want to buy and your top is 500, you can't look at stuff priced at 499 because that's selling for 550 in our market, if not more. So you have to start looking at 425, 450 and see where that's going to go. If the market softens, sure, you can get up a little bit higher. And in a soft market, in a buyer's market, you could be looking at things at 525 and bidding 500. That's just not as available right now. So you've researched and met with a real estate professional, chosen an agent to represent you, gotten your pre-approval. It seems like a lot because you haven't even looked at homes yet. Most real estate agents aren't going to take you out to see much more than one home without a pre-approval. And the honest truth is it's not fair to the seller. When a seller is listing a home, obviously at an open house, you can go anytime, but if you're going to do private showings, the sellers expect that those buyers that are coming for private showings are pre-qualified to buy the home. That's just a kind of fairness, and we want to be fair to all parties in a transaction, make sure that we're doing the right thing. So searching homes is great. I'm going to give you a couple tips so you can help decide whether the agent's doing the right thing for you. If an agent just puts you on a drip that sends you all the properties each day, that's good because you do want to keep up to date on it. However, you're going to get a bunch of stuff that you don't like if it's too wide. If you're just looking at all 3-bedroom, 1-bath homes between 300 and 500,000, a lot of the stuff's not going to be right for you. Some will be teardowns or fixer-uppers, which you may want something fully done. So it's really on an agent to put in a little bit of extra time, make sure they're going through the email that goes out and say, hi, I would think you would like these two the best based on our prior conversations. And they always want to be updating, checking your status, making sure your towns are still correct. You should really have it narrowed down to 3 towns. That just makes your job and the agent's job much easier to be focusing in 3 towns instead of saying like, 50-mile radius of X. That's not helpful. It's way too wide, and it really generally means that a buyer is not ready. Because what buyer really just wants to live wherever is convenient? Like, this is a big purchase. You're going to get a mortgage, you have a loan on a thing. You want to make sure that you're picking the right town, the right house, that you feel happy about it, and that you're going into a home purchase excited. Once you find the home that you think could be for you, you're going to make an offer. In New Jersey, the standard contract is 13 pages. If you go back in our YouTube channel, there's actually an entire video, almost 30 minutes, going through the entire contract. We'll send that out to you prior so you can see me go through the whole New Jersey real estate contract to tell you what it's all about, what you need to be concerned about. It's also helpful for agents to go through that as well. These days, when you're making an offer, you're usually offering against other people. So you and other buyers are all bidding on the same property. And in order to be competitive, there's a lot of things you can do. We have a very specific email that helps the other agent know what we're about, what our offer looks like up front. You want to make sure as a buyer that you're asking, your agent is asking the listing agent, what special things is the seller looking for? Because that will put you ahead of half of the people making offers. If half don't ask any questions and you ask what's their preferred closing date, do they have any specific things that they want included in the offer, and you put those in there, you already sound better because you're listening to what the seller's needs are and asking ahead of time instead of just trying to drive the transaction yourself to everything that you want. The best real estate transactions are win-win real estate transactions where everybody leaves happy. Seller gets their money that they wanted, buyer's super excited about the homes, agents get along, attorneys get along, title does a good job. Those are great. Do a lot of transactions go haywire? Absolutely. But the best agents are ones who can remain calm, keep their buyers and sellers calm, and still work towards a win-win. And honestly, if it's not going to work, sometimes you just have to call it and everybody can walk away, pull their deposits back, and just start over again. It's not always going to be a win-win. Sometimes you have to cut bait and move. So when your offer is accepted, you will go into negotiation and signing the contract. And then there is a little bit of a step. The contract will give you the timelines that can get adjusted in New Jersey in attorney review. We're an attorney state. So most people in New Jersey will do transactions with an attorney, except down south where they don't really use attorneys, down south of New Jersey. There are other states where don't usually use attorneys. And when we do deals in Philadelphia, we're not using attorneys there. In softer markets, there's a lot of negotiation. You bid something, seller counteroffers, you counteroffer, you come to an agreement. In markets like these, you're usually dealing with what's called highest and best offers, which means X amount of people are all making their highest and best offers at one time, say Tuesday by 5 o'clock, and that's your offer. You get one bite of the apple. If you lose, you lose. Transaction ahead of you could fall apart. You could come in as a backup, but that's your one shot to get it. And that's why it's really important to have a good buyer's agent. They're going to run through the comparable sales, block values, historical context of the neighborhood. They're going to be able to give you a good range of what you could be looking at and show you comparable sales that have sold that look like the house you're interested, so you can make your best offer possible. There's a few things that are a little bit crazy with offers right now. A lot of people in the negotiation and contract stage are waiving things that I don't think they should be waiving. That includes appraisal and inspections. But those are really separate discussions for separate videos. I'm just going through the process now. So once you and the seller agree on a number, the contract in New Jersey will go to attorneys for up to 3 days for an attorney review period, just making sure that the paperwork is all correct. In New Jersey, we don't really call it an escrow, very popular out west in California. In escrow is really the time where you've agreed and the home is being held for you until closing. You're going to go through your inspections at this point. You're going to eventually get through your mortgage contingency. The appraisal is going to happen, which is up ahead in the final details. But once you're in escrow, the transaction really begins. In New Jersey, you move from in attorney review to under contract. Once you're under contract, you're going to do your inspections. Those are recommended here: regular home inspection, sewer line inspection, oil tank sweep, and then sometimes you're going to need to do chimney, septic, other things, mold, asbestos remediation inspections, termites. But these are times where you guys have agreed, nobody else is looking at the house, and you're just trying to get to the win-win part. Inspections are always dicey. Not going to go over it a ton on this video, but it's a big part of being an escrow is getting through the inspection. It usually leads to a secondary negotiation between the parties, which will then result in a credit and or work to be done to the house. As you move on to the final details in blue, which is in the upper left, that's due diligence, the appraisal, inspection, which was there. You're going to review the terms with your lender. If you're getting a loan, you're going to have to cross a bunch of T's, jump through hoops, slide on your back, do a cartwheel, maybe do a couple somersaults, and then you probably most times are going to have to do all the things again. It's just a weird thing. A lot of lenders, not our lender, our preferred lender is great. One time you give the documents, but we've definitely been involved where you're giving the same documents multiple times to the same lender. It's a tough process for everybody. You, as well as your agent and your attorney, should always be staying on top of the timelines. We have a team success manager who is always making sure that all things are being fitted to the dates and that we're keeping on the original closing date that we tried. Almost all of my closings close on time. It's because I'm very obsessive about making sure that all parts of the transaction are moving at the same speed. That helps you as a buyer be confident that you're going to close on the date you're going to close, because you have to set up movers, you have to change utilities, organize a lot of things, schools, whatever you need to do. Once you get through inspections, you've agreed on that. Once your appraisal comes back and it's at or above the asking price, and then once you've closed your mortgage commitment, then you're clear to close and you move on to the top green, which is closing. And that's where actually the transfer of funds, buyer's going to give the money, seller's going to take the money, and you get title to your house. Usually there's an independent third party. And here we close at attorney's offices usually, or title companies. Notary is going to do the closing, make sure you sign 26,000 pieces of paper at closing as a buyer. And then you're eventually going to close, get the keys to your house, and congratulations, you have completed the home buying process. There's a lot of other things involved, but I wanted to give you what this shows you, a nice circle of the process. Again, this is something that we printed out via our relationship with Breakthrough Broker. I really like it. So if you want it, you can email us info@streamlined.properties. And our team success manager will send you the home buying process. Again, it's different in other states, but I hope this was valuable to you. If you need anything from us, you can take a peek at our website, www.streamlined.properties. I'm Jonathan Green. I'm the team leader. We have about 30 agents at the present time when this video is being made. We're in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Texas. Hopefully this video is sticking around a while. These things can all change, but what's important is the home buying process generally stays about the same. So this should remain as evergreen. You're going to continue around in the circle. Each state's going to be a little bit different, but again, you're going to start by researching agents, making sure that you build a trust relationship with a buyer's agent for you. And as you complete the circle, congratulations, you're going to be a new homeowner soon. I'm going to swing it off of the screen share. I'm back. Thanks so much for sticking it out. I really hope these are things that you can take with you on your home buying journey and that they're helpful to you. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.